Let me ask you one more thing right away about how the media can be misleading, or rather manipulative. For example, the American media says that according to senior Israeli and American officials, Israel's recent airstrikes in Lebanon have dealt a major blow to Hezbollah's weaponry, destroying about half of the missiles and rockets that Hezbollah has accumulated over 3 decades. Could this be true?
Let me put it this way.
Or is it an exaggerated figure?
Let what he says be true. Let him shoot 50% of them. What is their figure based on their own figures? It is close to 150,000. There were close to 150,000 systems. If he shoots half of 150,000, that's 75,000. 75,000 on about 5,000 anti-tank weapons. And out of 5,000 anti-tank guns, let them have a 1 in 10 chance of success. That is, they can hit 1 gun when they throw 10 frisbees. That's 500 tanks.
Yes, even with this calculation.
Namely, this work is not calculated like that. That is, in the Ukrainian field. You know the effect of drones, don't you? Look, they haven't come into play yet. For example, or will also be used in this field. A large electronic public in Russian troops has the power, but they can't stop it. Why? Because drones, it doesn't work that way, because it's a personal drone. You can fly the system in the field without being affected by any electronic public. Now, we didn't put any of these images in. Look at dozens of images in front of us. More drone attack footage to come. I'm telling you again, will Israel go and buy it despite this? It will, friends. Despite the deaths of nearly 1,500 soldiers in Gaza so far,
for the price
he didn't give up.
I'm willing.
Bigger because if he is aiming for it, and he has put it that way in his calculation, he will continue. This one here. You're talking about the 12 that he's going to lose in order to get this space. The number is over 5,000 wherever you look. If he took this, if he has taken this into consideration, yes. If he says, I will enter and hold this place, and that's the price.
If he says he's okay with it?
I mean, he enters and he pays, but the price, hundreds of tanks, hundreds of armored vehicles,
yes,
and thousands of soldiers. It's always like that. He can't go anywhere, my friends.
And will there continue to be support inside Israel for thousands of such soldiers?
So far, the war cry is very loud. Even Netanyahu. This thing is going up.
Yes.
So it's getting to the stage where if it runs for election, it will win the election. Do we more or less understand this Hezbollah episode? Shall we make it look like an evacuation, sweetheart?
I'll hear him. Now let's start with the evacuation footage. There are 5 separate images. Our friends will share them with us in turn. Here we know that Israel neutralized 8 Hezbollah soldiers in the first operation. There are some remarkable details in the evacuation footage I wanted to ask you.
Not this one, friends, not this one, that one. Yes, bravo, this one.
And now, the importance of evacuation, which you always tell us about, of course, is the death of the soldiers here. Are they injured? Let's take a look at the footage. What do you make of it?
Or let's put it this way. The first one, already, the evacuation of those who have lost their lives is not a top priority. So the first priority is to evacuate by helicopter first. Class by class, they put forward what can be saved. And so it goes, even bordering markers on each one. So whoever is the doctor there or whoever is the water technician there, it classifies according to urgency. Before they can be rescued, they try to move them, you know, the ones who left. None of them. Or thing.
Not dead yet.
It's not, sir.
You say you are not dead.
It's not like that, I mean, because you never put the body in the first shipment and send it first.
Yes,
that's why I'm telling you. Now, here's the thing. It's very interesting. When they published this image here, the Israeli authorities made a very interesting statement. Hezbollah is ruthless. While evacuating our soldiers, they said they shot at us.
Namely, man.
What do you call it?
What do you say to being held?
Because they are used to it. The Qassam brigades never did that. Qassam brigades. He was hitting when he hit. He did not interfere with those who came and went during the evacuation. But from the Qassam brigades.
How well they treated their hostages.
That's what I'm saying, but what did Hezbollah do to them?
Evacuation operations.
They have made evacuation operations commonplace. What, friends? when you were killing thousands of people, men, women, children, babies, and children without any weapons in their hands, you
Babies
didn't
in the
think
eye.
of the law of war. Is this where he came from? And there's nothing in the law of war that says you have to allow evacuation. Wounded, captured. You don't do anything or hit a sanitary spot. Where there is a war going on, everyone is a target. Oh. But let me tell you something interesting. Israel was trying to prevent the evacuation of Hezbollah with ruthlessness.